Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This video is called How Do We Know You Are Sincere, part 1. And in my second video I mentioned the disadvantages Black Lives Matter protests has with solving this current issue. The fact that it is open to be hijacked by infiltrators that want to turn peaceful protests into anarchy with an attempt to sway public perception against the change we all want to see happen. I also mentioned that we need to be vigilant over companies and celebrities that will also attempt to take advantage of this moment just to raise their own profile and enrich themselves. Now, don't misunderstand me, there will be some genuine ones among them, but there will be a lot of frauds. And 2020 is really shaping up to be the year where masks are falling off a lot of frauds. A good indicator I find is not to focus on what a company says, but how its actions measure up to what they're saying. So we all know this gentleman here is Colin Kaepernick. He highlighted the issue of police brutality and put that in the public consciousness by taking a knee during the national anthem. This is one of the most peaceful forms of protest I've ever seen. He's not interrupting anyone's day. He's not causing any traffic jams. He's not causing a public disturbance. And he was met with support from some people and criticism from others. It got to a point where Colin Kaepernick was sidelined and blackballed out of the NFL. And a lot of black supporters stood with Colin Kaepernick and stopped supporting the league. Nike paid him to do some ads which helped Colin keep the issue in the public's mind, and the NFL, sensing that they have made a mistake, reached out to Jay-Z to do a business deal with Rock Nation to become the league's official live music entertainment. But it was framed in a way as a way to try and highlight the issue of police brutality, though it's not clear how this partnership was actually going to achieve anything or how this partnership was actually advancing the movement of Colin Kaepernick, that Colin Kaepernick started. In my opinion, my honest opinion, it was a publicity stunt. Now, if Jay-Z wanted to do this purely for business reasons, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it felt as though he was trying to communicate that through doing this deal, everyone somehow understood what the issue was, and he came up with some phrase like, "we're past kneeling." Well, the business deal didn't stop George Floyd from getting murdered. So, it really wasn't effective, right? Like I say, I'd rather he just come out and say, it was purely a business deal than try and blend it like it was trying to advance the movement. But that's another topic. The NFL, like most people, like most companies across the USA and around the world, have seen mass protests happening, and they realised that they need to be seen to be standing with the protesters. A few days ago, Roger Goodell, who is the commissioner for the NFL, I believe, made this statement.
We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much-needed change in this country. We are listening. I am listening. And I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more united NFL family.
Now that's fine, but how do we know you are sincere and you're not just saying what you're saying because you're just trying to win back your lost supporters, and you need to be seen to be doing something? Well, a couple of days ago, I was listening to the Dore show, and I really do encourage you guys to go and check out his show on YouTube and subscribe and support him because he's doing some really good work. And he was talking to Jesse Ventura, and Jesse Ventura said something really interesting about this that really got me thinking. So let's just have a listen to what he said.
It's a tragic situation we're in, but it's the truth. And we're finally being made, hopefully, to look at the truth Now, I'm going to take a little different run at this because I'm going to bring in my own pet peeve here. And I can't believe that nobody's raising it. Okay, let's move on to last week, if we may, when the National Football League and Roger Goodell made their apology.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That was all wonderful and fine, but in my opinion, there should have been a direct apology to Colin Kaepernick in that.
Correct, I agree.
And you know, having missed on that already, I can understand why. And here's the problem I have. 70% of the National Football League are African Americans. And yet, they're protesting about racism, and they have the name of a team in Washington. I've been protesting against that name for decades now. I march with the Native Americans in Minnesota whenever that team comes to town. You know the team I'm talking about. The Washington, and I don't like saying the name because to me it's as bad as the N-word.
Okay.
And yet, you hear not a peep about getting that name changed. And my counter is, don't Red Lives Matter too? Because that nickname is not only racist, it honors genocide. When I was marching with the Native Americans a few years ago, because I've done it multiple times, young kid come up to me and showed me the Winona, Minnesota newspaper from 1860-something. And you know what the headline was? Governor Ramsey raises the bounty on Redskins.
Wow.
In other words, the government paid you. And you could go out and hunt innocent people down, kill them, bring back their, quote, red skins, and you got paid. He raised it to $200 a skin, which would translate today to be between $4,000 and $5,000 bucks.
Wow.
To go out and hunt people and shoot them and kill them like they were varmints or rats. And that's what that term comes from. And we have now the African American players, they've all said, Adrian Peterson, we're probably all going to take a knee next fall. Great. I support that 100%. I was never against it. And I'm a veteran. But the point is, how can you take a knee when you're wearing the helmet of that team from Washington? And if Goodell and these people want to make an impact immediately, suspend that name right now.
Exactly.
And get a new one. I've got a good one for them. How about the Washington Crooks? They can name it.
But that was deep what he was saying. And that brings me back to actions. You know, what actions are the NFL taking? Are they just following this trend by saying Black Lives Matter without giving it sufficient thought? Because that's a buzzword that's trending. Like Jesse said, there was no direct apology to Colin Kaepernick, and there was no mention of Roger Goodell talked about standing up against racism and all of that, but there was no mention of changing the racist team name. And he must be aware that that team name is racist and disgusting and perpetrates genocide, right? As Jesse said, right, those were the two immediate things that could be put into action. And this goes back to my point. It's not enough for someone to just say something. It has to be mirrored with their actions, right? That's what it has to be. That's how you know they're sincere. They are sincere. People, the solution to this is to help Black American descendants of slavery get protected status in the United Nations. Please go to the webpage Protected Status for Black American Descendants of Slavery.wordpress.com and follow the instructions. You can send off a letter from that website to your local MP and your local politician. You can sign the change.org petition to try and get as many signatures as we can from all over the world. If you're in the UK, on that page there is a link to a UK petition so we can get our MPs here to debate it in the Houses of Parliament. And if you are anywhere else in the world, right, can you please start a similar petition for your country and get as many people on board as possible? UK, I'm looking for 6 million signatures on that UK signature petition so we can see that, we can show the world that we're really serious about this. And you know what? this shouldn't even just be open to black American descendants of slavery, because there are similar black people in, say, Brazil that are in the same sort of scenario that they're in, okay? But for now, we need to focus on one problem and one solution, and this moment is for the black American descendants of slavery, okay? So please share the web link, please share the links to all the petitions and stuff, and if you want to keep up to date with more videos and how this is progressing, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel Thoughts of a Black Brit. Okay, that's it from me from now. Take care, have a great day.